Okay, now moving on to the next question, we have a question about digestion. Okay, and again over here they are asking about the absorption, the transportation, and also the assimilation. Okay, so I think this is a very simple essay. Nothing kebat, nothing kebat. Just if you remember, you remember. If you don't remember, yes, now try to remember this. Okay, cool. So let's start from the absorption and transportation. Okay, let's start from the first one. Okay, so let's talk about first of all one by one. Now we talk about glucose first. Okay, so cool. Remember, how do we absorb glucose? We have two different choices over here. We can go through the, you can go through the blood vessel. This is your blood capillary. You can also go through the middle, which is lacteal. So if you see here, glucose is supposed to go into where? Glucose is supposed to go to blood capillary. So yes, this is the first point over here. You should be absorbed into blood capillaries. And what is this method? This is by active transport. This is by active transport. Okay, so that is the absorption. Okay, that is the absorption of glucose. Now, how do we transport? Remember, how do we transport it further? Yes, we are gonna transport it through our liver, So glucose is then transported to liver. Because this is a blood capillary, right? So blood capillary connect you to the liver. Transported to liver through what vein? Remember the specific name. The name is hepatic portal vein. Hepatic portal vein. So this is for glucose. Okay, yes. Moving on for fatty acid. Okay, so for lipid, you have fatty acid and glycerol. They actually also are absorbed. Let's see, you see over here, what are we absorb as? We absorb into where? We absorb, you see this one? Yes, we absorb into this big fella. So what is this? This is your lacteal, okay? So we absorb into the lacteal, and this is called simple diffusion. Again, remember, every fatty stuff, every lipid, 它们都是, okay? Every lipid we do simple diffusion. So this is by simple diffusion. Okay? And moving on, because of that, we can also see how do we transport. So again, this is a bit hard, but basically, how to make it simple? Okay, so basically they are, okay, you can actually call them lipid already, because essentially after they come in, right, they will combine back, become lipid. Okay, they will combine into lipid. But yeah, anyway, the lipid is gonna be transported. Okay, let's just put it simple. Transported to lymphatic system. That's a short answer. That is a short answer. The longer answer, you can say it is transported to thoracic duct. If you remember this duct, we learned about this in a very small section. Thoracic duct. Then to left subclavian vein. So yeah, two choices here. One is a bit simple, one is a bit harder. Okay, yep. But essentially, after all, you will see, it will eventually reach your blood. So then lipid is transported through blood. Essentially, the whatever vein over here is going to your blood, so it's transported by blood in the end. Okay, yes. So that's for the transport over here. Now moving on for the so-called assimilation. Second question, we talk about assimilation. Okay, so I think this one even simpler. Is literally whatever you learn. Again, like I said, nothing kebat. So let's say first one, glucose. So yeah, for glucose, basically, glucose is used for cellular respiration. Very simple. The simple answer. Okay, and additionally, remember what do you have? You have the conversion. You can also convert excess glucose is converted to glycogen, and stored in liver. Okay, yep. And moving on, when glucose level decreases, I think blood glucose better. When blood glucose level decreases, then glycogen will be converted back. So this is how, when you have too much of glucose, you store it first. And when you have lack of glucose, you see, when you have a lack of glucose, what do? You go back. So glycogen is converted back to glucose. Yep. And finally, additionally, just additional information over here, if glycogen is too much, if you have too much glycogen, when glycogen storage is limited, then excess glucose will become what? Yes, become fat, which is typically what happens to most people. That's why we get fat. Okay, so it's converted to fat. Okay, yes. So again, put it simple for your assimilation. Very simple. It's actually just about respiration on top of another very huge event here, which is a conversion of glucose. Glucose and glycogen is interchangeably, converting, and also it can also become lipid. Okay, yes. That's the idea over here. Okay, cool. So that's all about glucose. Now moving on for lipid also, I think very simple. Just talk about what are the importance of lipid. Okay, just that's it. So yeah, the importance of lipid. Let's see, lipid. Okay, cool. So lipid, what do we do? So first of all, this is just information for you. Like I said just now, right? Remember your fatty acid and glycerol, they actually will combine again. Condense. They will again condense. Remember condensation, the process of combination. So we condense to form lipid. But of course, you can have different lipid here. Remember, you have phospholipid, steroid, etc., etc. You actually will combine to form different kind of lipid. Okay, yep. And then you say, some lipid used to do plasma membrane. You can use this to build your plasma membrane because remember, you have cholesterol, you have phospholipid. Everything comes from lipid. Okay. And you can also keep them. You can also keep the excess lipid stored as in adipose tissue. Okay, so basically a layer of fat that is able to give you energy, because essentially fat can be also giving you energy back. Okay, this is the idea over here. Okay, so we have extra lipid, we store it also, and then in the future when you want to use energy, you can also use the energy from the lipid, from the fat. Okay, that's it. Okay, cool. So that's it for the lipid. And yeah, that's all for this question. And also just to let you know that this question, I think B is a little bit out of syllabus. This is actually chapter 10 and 13. So yes, we will skip this for now. Okay, yep. So that's it for this one. Okay, cool. So yeah, now moving on to the last question.